Hi there, I'm David Troutman, and welcome to What's Happening. Today we're here, I'm with Fiona Jensen from Calmer Choice. We're talking about Calmer Choice and a big event that's coming up for us. Dan Harris from ABC is coming to speak on behalf of Calmer Choice. So before we get into the Dan Harris event, could you tell a little bit about what Calmer Choice is?
Sure. So Calmer Choice is an organization that brings mindfulness programs into the public schools. We've been around since 2010. We started as just one pilot program in Barnstable High School, and then since then we've provided programming to over 5,000 children in 18 schools across the Cape.
Great. And the reason, the connection that Dan Harris is involved now?
So Dan Harris wrote a book called 10% Happier, and he actually, you were the one who actually shared with me his book. So I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about that.
Well, actually I have a staff member who knew that of my connection to Calmer Choice, and when it came out about a year ago, gave me the book. I enjoyed it very much, and brought it to you, saying we've got to get this guy to come and speak for us.
Right. So anyways, I then went out and bought the book and also read it, and it's actually a really great book. It's very humorous, and it's sort of the guy's version of like why mindfulness might be helpful. And his story is he is the co-anchor of a Good Morning America, and had a panic attack on air. And so it was his journey of trying to sort of help himself figure out how to maneuver around that, and sort of his recovery from that. And so when I read it, I had the same thought that you did, which is it's a very tied to what it is that we teach this kids in school. And so I started trying to figure out how to get hold of him, and then a friend of mine up in the Newton area was having him to come in to speak because they actually had 3 suicides last year, and so they were pulling together a mindfulness series, and he graduated from Newton High School. So I contacted Ed and I said, is there any way you could ask Dan if you could share his email with me, because we'd really love to have him come to the Cape. And that happened last October. And so we've been corresponding ever since. So he's agreed to come speak for us. You know,
I got to tell you, a year ago I tried to Facebook friend him, and I didn't get a response, so I think your route might have been the better one.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that he's sort of a man's man sort of thing. I mean, as a journalist, he clearly was a fairly cynical attitude towards it. Have you run into that sort of attitude in general as your programs build?
So it's interesting. Absolutely, there's a certain type of person that might look at mindfulness as sort of this woo-woo, not something that's important, right? And so that's what's really interesting about Dan Harris, is that he was that kind of person, and was very skeptical about mindfulness and what it was all about, until he had his own experience with it, and then he realized there was a lot of science behind it. It's very grounded in a lot of social emotional learning things, that his response, which is actually similar to a lot of people when they experience it for themselves, that thought of, why didn't I learn this when I was a kid, So he's actually coming April 14th to Cape Cod Community College at the Tilden Arts Center. He'll be there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon speaking for us, which is really a great thing. We're really excited.
And anybody can come? Anybody
can come, yeah. You can go to our website, which is calmerchoice.org. You can buy tickets online. They're $10 ahead of time. Anybody at the community college students are free, and it'll be $15 at the door the day of the event. So it's interesting, because initially I thought 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday, who's going to come? And I can tell you the buzz is pretty remarkable, and at this point we're, it may be a sold-out event.
Wow. And what is that? It's at the college, at the Tilden Arts Center. Yeah. What's the capacity?
I think it seats about 600 people.
Okay.
When we had John Kebbins in there a few years ago, we sold out, and it was close to 600 sold out. So anyways, it should. And we also have Cheryl Bartlett is going to be on a panel along with Carol Woodbury, who's the superintendent of the DY school system. Will also be part of who's going to be there.
So we're expecting the whole event will take probably
about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including question and answer at the end.
Great.
So it should be. He's very humorous. Yeah. He's got a great sense of humor, and I think bringing that to the event will be really wonderful.
Okay. And as a reminder, it's on
April 14th.
Right.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, Cape Cod Community College at the Tilden Arts Center. And the best way to, the best thing to do, I would really recommend that people go to the website, commerchoice.org, and buy tickets in advance, because it'll probably sell out.
Great. Thank you, Fiona.
Okay, thank you,
Great.
David.